Hi, friend. Welcome to Holly's Highlights, a podcast designed to encourage, inspire, and equip you to intentionally live your life full of purpose. I'm your host, Holly Kirby, motivational speaker, leadership cultivator, marketing strategist, and personal cheerleader. Let's check out today's highlight. Big shout out to today's episode sponsor, PostNet in Draper. Friend, if you're looking for design, printing, or shipping solutions, PostNet in Draper is your place. And you'll be supporting local too, as owners Paul and Linda take great pride in providing exceptional customer service, all while giving back to their community. PostNet is located in Draper, Utah. However, they make tackling everything on your to-do list so quick and easy, no matter where you live, with everything from custom graphic designing, high-quality printing, and multi-carrier shipping services, such as UPS, FedEx, U.S. Postal Service, and DHL, all in one place. You can email your project to ut113@postnet.com or even call them at 801-495-9270 with any questions. Mention you heard about PostNet Draper on Holly's Highlights podcast and receive 10% off your first print order. Thanks again, Linda and Paul at PostNet Draper, for your support of Holly's Highlights podcast. Good morning. So here we are a few months into the year and still so much seems to be going on. I was actually on a call the other day with a coaching client and they were just sharing how overwhelmed they feel with life. And they were asking for some advice on how to find that so-called balance. Well, I could relate as this almost desperation in her voice. I remembered all too well going through during a very tough time in my life years ago, where my brother had shared some advice of taking care of my health. And he broke it down specifically the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And he challenged me, what are you doing in each of those areas to take care of your health? Now, fast forward years later, in coaching, we refer to these as the 4 rooms. So the first one, physical, it's all about your body. You need to feel good. That can look different to different people. For me, I got really involved in going to a gym and doing a dance jam class, doing weekly restorative yoga, and a total workout of ballet fit at the gym. But other options might be focusing on your breathing. Some of our devices, like our watch gadgets, can even remind us to do this. Or just getting outside and going on a walk. This also can involve our overall nutrition to help us feel good. Some questions we can ask ourselves here is, how often do you exercise? How many hours of sleep are you getting each night? Doctors actually recommend 7 or more hours per night for adults, and it goes up to 10 to 13 hours for ages 3 to 5. So looking at the ages of your kids, your teens, yourself, and making sure that everyone is getting enough rest. What's your nutrition look like? So are you getting those veggies? Are you eating balanced meals? Do you have too much of one thing or another, such as sugars, caffeine, alcohol? Do you keep up with your routine of dental and medical care? What do you do for stress management? How's your appearance? And not just your hygiene, but do you get up and get ready each day or just stay in your jammies? This can also give an indicator to your overall mental health, as one area can absolutely affect another. Now, it's fine to stay in your jammies a day, that's fine, but when it's a repetitive day-to-day, can't get out of the jammies, that's when you might know that that mental health might need some help on the health side of things. The next room would be spiritual. Some refer to this as your energy, but it can include your faith, your beliefs, your values, church groups you're involved in, or even volunteering. I made sure I was consistent in church. I always have been in my life, but especially during that rough patch, made sure that was a consistent effort. Also got involved in a women's Bible study and did a daily devotional at home. Had a strong support group around me, which I refer to as my prayer warriors. There's a quote that goes something like, if you look at the world, you'll be distressed. If you look within, you'll be depressed. If you look at God, you'll be at rest. So here we can take a look at, what are your beliefs? Your values, your ethics. How do you put those into practice? What groups are you involved in, whether it be at church or volunteering? For those who are believers, this goes even deeper of your prayer life, your time in God's Word each day, fellowship with brothers and sisters in Christ, whether that's through church or Bible study or activities. Then the third room is our mental, our thoughts. Ever stay up so late you can't think straight? This mental directly relates with rest, meditation, sleep. A resource for mental health can be counseling, or for some, simply taking a social media break. I personally was blessed with a wonderful counselor during that rough time I referred to earlier. And I even still today keep a Bible verse next to my bedside. It's Philippians 4:8. You've probably heard me refer to it before, but it challenges me to think only of what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable. All of that helps with my mental. So some questions we can do some self-evaluation here is, what do you think about most often? What are you doing to learn and grow, whether it be at work, at home, in knowledge and wisdom? Do you even have the mentality that you should be, also referred to as growth mindset of growing? Or are you a know-it-all? Do you have a creative outlet? And if so, what is that outlet? Part of my mental is to simply turn on the TV and watch the news or a TV show or whatever in the evening just to tune out for about 30 minutes. That helps me mentally. How are you watching your thoughts? Or are you even watching your thoughts? I think of the Bible verse, take captive your every thought and make it obedient to the Lord. But making sure we're taking care of that mental health. Now, the last room is emotional. Not just your feelings of happy, sad, but a balance of your emotions. Different outlets for our emotional health may be journaling, expressing gratitude. I actually used my Facebook to record adventures and express gratitude. This helped me to look back and just see the blessings in life. So some questions we can look at here are, how do you handle stress? How do you handle your emotions? Are you even aware of how you come across to others? Do you realize your moods and attitudes can affect others? So if you are in a bad mood, do you go into work that way and affect everyone else with their negativity? Are you a procrastinator? Our emotional health can be drained when we don't stay on top of things like our homework in school or projects at work or even stuff going on at home. That can contribute to our emotional health, and that which again leads into our mental health and so many other things. So what is your emotional outlet, and who do you have to even talk to about all of this in your life? Now, I must note that of all of these four rooms, in one way or another, involve rest. Forbes did a great article about 6 pieces of expert sleep advice where they unpacked sleep's effect on our immune health, for fitness, for our brain health, for preventative health, consistency, and just overall routine. Well, experts say the more we can balance these 4 rooms, the healthier our body systems will be, which overall affects our health and wellness too. The challenge always seems to be in knowing, how do we find this balance and what does it look like? Well, I'd encourage you to grab a piece of paper, open the notes in your phone, or even do a mental checklist as we go through these, whatever works for you. But basically, we need to look at each area and what's referred to as our individual wellness. Now, of course, these involve the 4 rooms, as I already mentioned, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional, but they go on to include a few other, not necessarily rooms, but wellness areas that we need to take a look at. One of those is being our environmental. This is your home, your work, your school. Asking yourself, are those places organized or are they cluttered? How do you feel in each of these environments? Do you feel loved at home, respected at work? Do you have a friend at school? Another area is our social. So kids, husband, friends, what's your social network? How do you find stress relief, and what healthy relationships do you have in your life? Or do you seem to have more drama or unhealthy relationships? When was the last time you did something with someone else? Gone out and thrown the ball with your child, went on a date night with your spouse, went to dinner, or even chatted on the phone uninterrupted with a friend? Another area we can look at for that wellness is our financial. Are you content, or do you feel pressure to keep up with the Joneses? Are you a workaholic or lazy and maybe don't even have a job or contribute much financially? Are you a saver or a spender? Where do you give? Tithe at church, support a charity or nonprofit, donate to shelters, or even help a friend or family member in need? Are you wise with your spending, a good steward? And do you live within your means? Looking at each of these areas will help you see where things are a little off kilter and opportunities to find some balance in your life. So as we try to maintain our health and wellness and find the balance in our lives, so work, school, home, social, I encourage you to look at each of those areas, really do some soul searching, and then see where you can reprioritize. Now, keep in mind, they aren't going to balance evenly. You aren't going to have a certain number of things in each area. What you will find by completing this exercise is reality, that we have different seasons, and different seasons call for reprioritizing in different areas. When I was getting my master's, I definitely had less exercise and sleep, so that physical struggled. But this helped me look for opportunities to go walk the block as I was studying for a test with flashcards. It didn't solve the sleep. That I didn't get until after I graduated, but it helped me be aware and be intentional where I could to help my health. Now, as if that isn't action enough for you this episode, I'd actually encourage you to, after listening to this episode, and when you can get to where you're safely pulled off to the road, or where you can think through things or go through the exercise, look at your schedule. This will help you identify things perhaps you overlooked when simply responding as we went through each one. And then I always encourage clients I'm working with in this area to do a life map where you write out all the different roles you feel in your life, from mom or dad, daughter, son, wife, husband, to your role at work, church, or in the community, even volunteering at your kid's school. Write down every role. Then under each role, write out everything involved in that role. So for example, one of my roles is house manager of my home. So involved in that is cleaning and fixing up things and organizing and paying for utilities. The list goes on and on. Again, by doing this life map, it clearly identifies pretty much everything going on in your life, so you can better go back and see where you stand on each of these individual wellnesses, and therefore open up opportunities for you to work on things to create a bit more balance for the season of life you're in for now. Now, I hope this has been helpful for you. Perhaps you found an area that's a little off kilter and you need some help identifying some goals to get you out of the rut so you can have more peace and contentment in that area, more balance. Well, I would love to work alongside you however I may. I have a couple of slots open for coaching, whether that be a one-time call or chatting on a monthly basis or even checking in every other week. I'd love to help you with some of that overall awareness and help you identify some goals, strategize a plan, hold you accountable, and even cheer you on. But overall, maximize your potential. Simply head over to my website at hollykirby.com and you can learn more on the Work With Me section or even connect with me through my page there. Overall, may we all remember we can't do everything. As much as we'd like to be Superwoman or Superman, I remind myself that when I'm saying yes to something, that means I have to say no to something else. So boundaries are going to be so important in creating that balance. And with that, we have to remember that no is actually a complete sentence, and that's okay to take time for you. At the end of it all, as spring is sprung, bloom where you're planted, in health and wellness, in all. Thank you for joining me on this journey of life. I hope that today's highlight has been encouraging, inspiring, and equipping so you can go out and live your life full of purpose. I'd be honored if you'd take a moment to leave a review, or better yet, subscribe. We can also stay in touch by joining my email list at hollykirby.com. That's HOLLYCURBY.com. Until next time, make it a great day for a great day.